Hello, everyone. I have one of my favorite chefs with me tonight. It's Eric Nyman, and Eric has the beautiful Wildflowers Cafe, the best food in town. So how you doing?
I'm great, Jim. How are you?
Good, thank you. How many years, Eric, have you had Wildflower?
It'll be 12 in January.
Wow. Were you one of the first to start in Village on High?
No, Mary Ann Cannon set up the Village.
Right, I know she did, right. But were you one of the first tenants?
Not the very first,
Okay.
but we're one of the longest running. The only people who have been there longer than us are Mary Ann Coots has the Octopus's Garden. She opened, I think, 6 months before we did.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, and that's neat because you are one end and she's at the other end, and she's a wonderful lady too. And of course, I love Mary Ann and Jean Cannon as well. There's more activity going on at the Wildflower than there is all over town, except when the Levoy's open.
The right kind of activity.
Yes, exactly.
We love feeding the people that go to the Levoy. You know?
Yeah, exactly right. Boy, I'll tell you, it's amazing. I got to tell you a story. When I was probably about 15, my grandmother had passed away, and my grandfather had a lady friend, as they called in those days. And the lady friend, now this is in, I don't know, the 60s, was a vegetarian. Well, the woman, we'll call her Gladys, she was 22 years older than my mom and my aunt, who were my grandpa's daughters. She looked as young as them. I mean, she looked fabulous. Well, the bottom line was she was a vegetarian, had been, I guess, almost all of her life, and that's unusual back in the 60s. But what was really neat was she lived to be 105.
No kidding.
Honest to God. And every time I'd see Gladys, I'd go, "You don't age, you look super." And, you know, gone along with that, I know that story, you are what you eat. And boy, let me tell you, folks, if you go to Wildflowers, the food is fabulous. Kelly snuck me home something the other day. What was that great dish I had?
That was a wild foraged chicken of the woods and dumplings. There's a very large orange mushroom called a chicken of the woods, and it grows like crazy around here. South Jersey is fantastic for mushrooms, and Garden State Mushrooms, that's a local mushroom guy who brought them to us, and we cooked them up the same day, turned them into a nice special, sold out. Today's special also has those kind of mushrooms, another batch in it.
Wow, well, you know, it's interesting you mentioned that. I was in with Bruce Cooper one day, and it was some kind of something mushroom, and I swore it was a meat. It tasted so good. It was like, oh, my God. Had an unusual name to it.
Was it a cheesesteak, perhaps? We
That's
might have
what
done an oyster mushroom. That's the next thing I have coming up is the from Alchemy Farms in Dorchester. They brought us a mix of white elms and pink and yellow oyster mushrooms that we're going to turn into a mushroom cheesesteak on a fresh-baked roll with some local or organic seasoned potato wedges, cheesy sauce. So, you know, these are specials. We don't have these particular items on the menu all the time. We always have the salads and the wraps and a good soup and some different sides and the baked goods made in-house. But, you know, we try to have different hot specials throughout the week and, you know, just call or check the website to see what's cooking.
Boy, I tell you what, it is unbelievable, folks. The food is fabulous. Now, in fact, I tell everybody I am a pescatarian. I love seafood. With the price of this, I may be a total vegetarian or vegan because seafood is astronomical, the pricing right now. In fact, the one meal I get that I like at Delisi's is called Valeria. And it's shrimp and crab meat with sun-dried tomatoes and some other, you know, ingredients. It was like my favorite meal. Well, the prices has got so high that they won't give you crab anymore. It's just a shrimp. But I really miss the crab meat. They said, it's too high. And a friend of mine went to a restaurant recently, and he got scallops, $55 for scallops.
Wow.
He said, Jim, they were delicious. $55.
It's crazy how much things cost now. I mean, to go to the movies is like $15. You know, like a popcorn that costs them 30 cents is like $15. You know, everything. We try to keep our prices down to make the food accessible and affordable, and, you know, if we can buy it locally, we get it locally. Today's special actually is Krabby Patties made from mushrooms.
Oh, no kidding.
They're buried at the bottom of that, actually.
Okay.
I was negligent to not bring a fork, but yeah, there's some crab cakes made from those chicken of the woods mushrooms in there.
Oh my God!
So, that's a nice thing. You don't have to get on a boat. You don't have to trawl up, mess up the seabed. You don't have to add to the pollution. You don't have to add to the wildlife devastation. You stick with plants. It's better for the environment, better for your health.
Well,
save you money.
You know what I love that you had on your door during the COVID? Tell everybody what was on. This was perfect, folks. Talk about vegetarian and good food to eat.
Are you talking about the different signs I had posted on the door?
The one about if everybody was vegetarian, there'd be no COVID. Remember that?
Exactly. Yeah. I had a lot of people who appreciated that coming through the doors, and it's true. Confined animal agriculture is the cause of not only a lot of environmental devastation and a lot of health problems, but pollution, and disease. Disease is really the main thing. Like right now, there's an avian influenza outbreak in the United States, and they're killing millions of birds. That might be why the price of chickens and eggs are going up.
Okay.
So you stay away from concentrated animal agriculture, and you're really helping save a lot of lives.
Well, I have to tell you something. It's probably been 25, maybe 30 years now since I've had a steak. So I'm on the campaign trail. And we had a fundraiser, Democratic fundraiser that night. So I'm out campaigning all day, and I didn't have a chance to eat. Well, I get to the fundraiser, and what do they have? Filet mignon. So I was starved. So I ate it. I swear, Eric, I think it took me almost a week to digest it. It just sat there. It sat and sat and sat because I wasn't used to eating, big, thick red meat like that. I did tell Eric, and I'll confess to all of you, because I love Rob Bruni. Once or twice a month, I will have a Bruni burger. I keep asking him to get vegetarian burgers. I had to get after him to do that. I was just telling Eric, too, though, I go to the Morris River Diner, and I get a fabulous vegetarian burger. It's great. And what's neat is they give me fresh fruit with it. So you got healthy. It's delicious, and I just really enjoy it. I think as we see things, and I really think that when you look at how it affects people, like this Gladys lady that was my grandfather's friend, 105. And now, obviously, there's genes. Not smoking is helpful, not doing drinking and things that are hurtful to your body. But, in fact, George Cuccia is our producer today. Now, this one sort of goes against what we're going to say. His uncle, George, your uncle, first name? Frank, thank you. Uncle Frank turned 100.
Oh, wow.
So as the mayor at that time, I did 14 people's birthday or 100th-year-old birthday parties. I had to take a proclamation to him. So Frank was 100, and his niece called me, and she rose, and she goes, "Jim, would you do me a favor?" I said, "Sure." She said, "You're going to Uncle Frank's birthday?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "On your way, would you stop and get his favorite food?" I said, "Sure." "What's that?" She said, "A McDonald's hamburger and French fries." So that takes away my argument of longevity, maybe. But again, genes and things like that.
Some people get lucky with the genetics. Yeah.
Well, and coming back to those type of things, Eric, you look great. And I got to tell you, Bruce Cooper, I know, goes in. He looks wonderful. Rick Cott.
Oh, yeah.
It made him look like a superstar. My gosh. He is vegan, right? All the way. Oh, my goodness. It is just, he looks so good. And many, many people who come in. And I was saying I had to go to the emergency room for a friend of mine. I sat in the waiting room at the emergency room. And in that emergency room, there were 22 people, waiting to see loved ones or whatever. Of the 22 people, 16, including me, were obese. When you think about it, folks, you aren't, but no, you're not. But when I look around, my friends, my family, a lot of obesity. But it's in general in the United States. And my point is, go to Wildflowers, get healthy food that tastes fabulous, and not have to worry about the calories. Right.
Well, we still have plenty of fat and sugar on the menu in the form of delicious baked goods, but they're best in moderation. Special occasions once in a while. But hey, we got to have treats sometimes. Hey,
and that brings me to another issue. A lady friend of mine who lives in Atlantic City, every once in a while, if I'm heading down, she'll say, "Please stop at Wildflowers," because she's the desserts you have that are not.
No eggs, no dairy. We use a lot of organic ingredients. A lot of them are gluten-free.
That's it. Gluten-free is what I was thinking. She can't have gluten. So when she comes up, or if I take something down, I'll stop and get that. And I tell you, I have tried it. To me, it tastes good. I don't see much difference between it,
No. works out great.
Yeah, it really
I won't
does.
say desserts are good for you, but they're
they taste
less bad for you than a conventional dessert. You know, no high fructose corn syrup, no preservatives, no bleached cane sugar.
What got you into this whole business?
Well, I've been vegan for about 15 years.
Have you really? Wow.
And I grew up vegetarian, so I grew up not eating
Gotcha.
animal flesh, but I ate some eggs and dairy until about 15 years ago, and then found out about factory farming. It's like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I stopped buying animal products at home, to have in my own fridge, but I wasn't that strict about it, eating out. But I got to a point where I couldn't disassociate the end product with how it was produced, and I just lost my desire to support that industry and indulge in it anymore. So from that time, I had wanted to do something to raise awareness about the way animals are treated and, get people something that was able to give them a better option. So when I moved to South Jersey, I had an opportunity to take over a lunch truck. This lunch truck had a route in Cherry Hill, and it was called Regina's Travel Gourmet. The place I was working at that had gotten me to move to South Jersey had gone out of business, and I was collecting unemployment. And I found this lunch truck on Craigslist that sold like pulled pork and sausage and peppers and Italian meatballs. And I bought the truck, and it came with like a route to high-end salons and day spas in Cherry Hill.
Oh, I see.
So what the fellow running it would do was, come up to the salon, go in, take the order of the hairdressers and stylists, go back to the truck and make the order, then bring it back in. It wasn't a very good business plan when you're driving an hour from Millville to Cherry Hill in a truck that gets 7 miles a gallon.
Yeah. Wow.
I found that out because I ran out of gas a few times.
Oh, my God.
I did the math. I was like, oh, my God, 7 miles per gallon. It was a 77 Chevy, but if you womped on the gas, it would move. You could fly everything back. It was fun. It came with a little sound box that would play animal sounds. You could, like an ice cream truck, you could make it moo or sing a song or something. It was fun. I think I breathed too much exhaust fumes in that day because it was 30-year-old truck, but it got the start. Tried out some different things, and people liked the food. And I thought, we need a brick and mortar location. Making this stuff and schlepping it up there wasn't a good business model. And I always thought the Village on High, which Mary Ann Cannon had set up there, was such a cute spot. And one day I was walking by, and I saw that I think it was called Serendipity Cafe at the time, was the previous tenant. They'd lasted maybe 6 months, and I think they sold hot dogs and ice cream, something like that. But it was a cute spot, and it was a kitchen, about the size of this table, a little bigger, but really, like 10 by 12, something like that, maybe the size of the lunch truck. And I saw that the place had gone out of business. And I met the landlady, Mary Ann, and signed the lease the same day.
Oh, my God.
So
that's fabulous.
Yeah, that was 12 years ago, and then it took a few months to get up and running, buy equipment and set it up. I didn't know how to do the restaurant stuff, but I learned it on the job.
You learned real well, buddy. That's super.
Well, thank you. I've always had, different nice young people who want to cook, and I've wound up doing some of it myself, but I was never trained culinarily. So basically, my guiding principle is to focus on the ingredients, and then as long as the ingredients are good, you can do almost anything with it. So we don't have a super fixed menu. Like we always have the salads, we always have the wraps, but for the other stuff, let's see what's in season. Let's use it. There are so many farms within 10 miles of here.
Jersey fresh.
Able to get almost everything locally. And I love that. I love going to the farms and picking out the produce and bringing it back and getting to cook it the same day, or, maybe the next day. And,
nothing better is like fresh tomatoes and fresh things just come out of the garden. Here in South Jersey, we're lucky.
Absolutely.
When we come back, we're going to take a look at some of that menu. I tell you what, I haven't found anything on the menu I haven't loved. Anyway, we'll be back with Eric Nyman right after these messages.
Thanks, Jim.
You're welcome. What's the salad that I always...
Are you ready to go green and cut down on your electric bill? Then there is only one call you need to make. Soaring Solar is your complete source for solar, including new roof installations. Soaring Solar is a veteran-owned and family-run company. Call the Soaring Solar family today and talk with one of our solar consultants. For a free estimate, call Soaring Solar today at 609-270-7759. Or find them on the web at www.soaringsolar.com.
I chose DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home because they treated me with respect and compassion. I couldn't have gone through all this if I didn't have DeMarco Luisi by my side. They did everything that they could to make me happy. And that was important to me and my kids.
At the DeMarco Louisi Funeral Home, we're here for you and your family in your time of need.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Well, Wildflower Vegan Cafe is one of the longest-running all-vegan eateries in the state, and the only one in South Jersey to feature so much local and organic produce, where everything is made in-house from scratch. We have a small seasonal menu that changes frequently. We can always find healthy, hearty salads, wraps, soup, and baked goods, all made in-house.
Welcome back to Round South Jersey, and this has nothing to do with Eric's business. In some way it does. My very favorite person that I would love to see run for President of the United States is my good buddy that's on Shark Tank. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Cuban?
Yeah, Mark Cuban. Mark is a vegetarian, or vegan. He may be vegan.
Is that so?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's interesting. Mark is friends with my son, Gary, who's vice president of NBC Sports. So I've never met Mark, but we've talked on the phone and things like that. Really nice person. So years back, before Trump had run, seriously, I think if you look at who could be or would be president, somebody like Donald Trump had an excellent opportunity because his name was everywhere. He was on TV. He had, the thing going for him and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty tough for an average person that's been in government maybe, to run against a celebrity. And Donald Trump was a big celebrity. And Mark Cuban is a celebrity. And I've talked with Mark, and I really, really like him. And if you watch him on Shark Tank, he's legitimate. He's a nice person. He likes to help people, and he is, I believe, vegan. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. So I guess when you look at somebody, he looks great too, and he's eating the proper way. But what he did say to me, this has been several years ago, he said, "Jim, I don't think I would do that to my family, run for president." But then not far after that, Trump started jabbing at him, and he said, "I don't know, Jim. I may think about it someday." But anyway, it was a cute thing, tie in the fact that he is vegetarian for sure and probably vegan. Now let's talk about the difference between vegetarian and vegan.
Sure. So a vegan consumes no animal products at all. So, no eggs, no dairy, no fish, no derivatives of animals like gelatin, which is, in gummy worms and things.
Okay.
There's a lot of trace animal products
I didn't realize
all
that.
over everything.
Huh.
But it's easier and easier. Like we were just talking about the vegan cheese a minute ago.
Yeah.
It's readily available. Vegan alternatives are readily available at any grocery store now. Even the Dollar General has almond milk.
That's what I
compared to
drink.
10 years
milk,
ago.
That's
it's
true.
all over.
I think that's becoming more popular. As I look at the milk case, where I go to Walmart or to Target actually. I just got almond milk the other day. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I love almond milk. Yeah. Now, what's a daily menu? Like, what do you have for breakfast? You can't have eggs. You can't have milk, right?
Well, tofu, you can make a fantastic egg scramble with tofu.
Gotcha.
If you get a black salt, it has a high sulfur content, and it makes things taste just like eggs. It's incredible.
Wow.
There's a product made from mung beans, M-U-N-G, called Just Egg that's readily available now, too, in a patty form or liquid form. It's a little processed, maybe not as healthy. Mushrooms you can fry up, and maybe not an exact egg substitute, but there's a lot of different things out there for breakfast, variety of cereals, milk alternatives. You can get yogurt from coconut milk, cashew yogurt, almond yogurt. Some of it's really good.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Harmless Harvest brand coconut-based yogurt. Delicious.
Wow, that is. So what's lunch? One of your great salads? Oh,
Well, obviously you have to come to us, so you're
Yes.
probably eating a salad or a wrap. So we put
the almond, that's when I asked you about
the crayon almond salad. Yep.
salad.
So
Oh my
we
God,
get
it's so good, folks.
spring mix that's grown year round, even in winter, fall, and summer, from Mill Creek Urban Farms in Bridgeton. They grow hydroponically year round,
Wow.
and they deliver to us twice a week.
That's
so we always
fabulous.
have the freshest greens around, and then red cabbage. We shred that up to give a little bit of fiber and crunch, and that we get from different farms locally. Mazzarelli's often has it. Sometimes Santinella Farms in Vineland, Bergamo's, a lot of places in Vineland. But Eastern Fresh, they deliver to us. There's Kumari's Garden on Route 49 right in Millville now. They grow some
really?
great organic produce. I'm always
ever
going to
get-
forget someone because there's so many good ones.
Did you ever get the mushrooms from down in Cedarville?
Yeah, actually, I think Mill Creek, they're part of the Gateway CAP program, and they had a mushroom partnership with some farm in Cedarville
Okay.
they were growing shiitake mushrooms.
Yes,
and
that's
we were
right.
making cheesesteaks out of them, too.
Yes, that's
Those
the
were quite
place,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of medicinal properties to mushrooms.
Yeah.
So-
yeah. And you know what? I mean, honestly, folks, if you try it, it's like you're eating steak or meat. It really is. It's got that taste and the healthiness that goes along with it. When you think about how wonderful it is that we have you in town. I mean, you've been here 12 years now, right? And, folks, if you haven't been there, you got to go in. Honest to God, I don't care. You could get a black bean burger, you could get a wrap, and if you didn't know it is vegan or vegetarian, you'd think you're eating a cheesesteak or something.
Yeah, we have something for everybody. Whether you're used to eating more meaty items, we have a seitan that we make out of vital wheat gluten. It's the protein from the wheat grain, and that makes something really meaty that we can put on a salad or in a wrap. By the way, that salad does have more than 2 ingredients. There's the spring mix, the cabbage. I always get organic carrots because I found non-organic carrots taste like cardboard. So organic carrots, cucumbers, we can get them locally most of the time. Tomatoes, the Jersey tomatoes have been
Aren't they
phenomenal
great?
this year. So all the veggies, your choice of dressing, we make them all in-house. That particular one also gets sliced almonds, dried sweetened cranberries,
Yeah,
organic
that's-
quinoa,
Yeah, they're the things I really
and
enjoy
an
too.
agave sweetened honey mustard dressing.
George, you have some pictures of some of that delicious stuff. Tell us what this is there.
Well, that looks like a quesadilla with, I believe, some microgreens on top, some fresh sprouts. We make a house-made cheesy sauce, either out of cashews or soy milk. We kind of alternates between the two. And a fresh salsa. One of our girls makes the best pico de gallo, fresh salsa, the tomatoes and onions and a little bit of cilantro, lemon or lime juice, salt, pepper.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah. I think that's a ranch. It has our homemade ranch dressing on it, and chickpeas, bacon bits made from textured vegetable protein, which doesn't sound very appetizing, but it's just soy. It's just something from a bean.
Oh, this is interesting. I've had the sleeve surgery, so I can't eat pasta. I can't eat macaroni and cheese. But I do actually go and I get a zucchini pasta. It's in a bag, and I do that. But what I was going to say, when you look, one of the things I learned from a nutritionist from ShopRite when she was on my show is there is and you mentioned garbanzo beans, there is a pasta that's made out of protein.
Yes.
And it's called Banza.
Yeah.
Banza,
Yep,
so you
chickpea
know
pasta.
it. Yeah.
Yep. A lot of different pastas for people who can't handle wheat or just find the other plant-based pastas easier to digest.
Yeah.
We've been using something with quinoa and brown rice lately, which has been working pretty well. It has like a good chew to it and gentle on the digestion. So you can eat pasta as long as it's in moderate. If it's like a gluten-free pasta, just not the wheat pasta.
Yeah, well, for me, it's because the pasta expands, so I have to go with a vegetable type thing.
Okay.
But before I had that surgery, she was talking to me about the Banza and that it's protein. So I guess my question is, would that be permissible in the vegan or vegetarian?
Well, yeah, protein, all plants, all food contains protein. It's just a matter of concentration.
Yeah.
So beans and legumes and, wheat, grains, they all have protein. Just you might have to eat more of it.
Yeah,
nuts and seeds are excellent sources
That's
of protein.
True too. Yeah.
So we try to use all like whole foods-based ingredients. I'm not getting weird powders to put in things. It's all
natural
food. Yeah.
Boy, honestly, folks, it is a fabulous place to go, and it's neat too. Uniqueness. You got the outside, you got the inside. You go up and get what you want from the counter, and of course the desserts, as we talked about, are gluten free. They are fabulous as well. Now, do you make them or do you buy them?
No, we make everything in-house.
Oh, my goodness.
And they sell out. That is one of the fields that we really are trying to expand in. I'm going to need to hire a second baker at some point because people get addicted to their cheesecakes and things. And it's tough to keep them in stock.
I know a guy who might like that job.
Send them my way.
Baker, I will.
Yeah.
Now,
and we can do cakes by order.
God.
Custom baking, we need a week's notice because we only have one baker right now, and she's pretty maxed out. She makes a lot of the specials as well. And does a lot of everything, really. But yeah, those were some little mini cakes. We can do chocolate-covered strawberries from time to time. When in season. Jersey strawberry is something I always look forward to every year. It's the first fruit of the spring, you know. And
you have to introduce you. I'll have to bring him for lunch sometime. Joe Spracio, Anthony Spracio's Farms. My God, I love them. They're great. Their strawberries are like candy, just off the vines. Now, what is this? This looks good.
That looks like a chocolate peanut butter cheesecake. So, you know, that combination you can't go wrong with. We have that available as a smoothie as well. We just take the cheesecake and put it in the blender. I'm kidding. It's organic frozen bananas and chocolate almond milk and organic peanut butter, and you blend it up, and it's like a liquid Reese's cup. But the cheesecakes usually she has for the weekend, you know, we do different flavors. Fruit tops when there's a local fruit available. So we were doing some blackberry topped ones recently. Probably move on to the apple cinnamon soon. Apples are starting to come in.
That looks so good.
And they're great for you. You know, it's like eating a vitamin, right?
Oh, sure. But at least they're healthier than the average one that you would be eating. So
absolutely
makes it better. So tell us your hours.
We're open 7 days a week at 11 a.m. every day. We're open until 5 on Sundays, 6 Monday through Thursday, and 8 o'clock on Friday and Saturday.
Oh, wow. I knew Friday probably until 8, but I didn't know Saturday too. That's great. And a lot of activity. I mean, Village on High has been there, what, about 15 years or so?
Yeah, and most of the shops in the Village are open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and, you know, like 12 to 5, something like that. Every third Friday in Millville, you know, is the big, you know, arts night, and everything stays open late, and there's live music up and down the street. I mean, that was one of the things when I moved to the area I thought was just so special about this town. It's part of why I moved here. I thought it was just the greatest thing. And the recession took a toll on that.
Yeah,
and there's been some rebuilding. But.
Well, you know, it's interesting. When I got to be mayor in 1997, we sort of got the concept, we got to do something. So we went to the Arts District, and then, of course, all these wonderful things that you've done, and Mary Ann and all the other people Village on High have done has really worked out well for us. But you'd see things from 97. Instance, the rateable base in the city of Millville in 1997 was $670 million. So from 97 until 2008-9, I was still the mayor until 2009, the rateable base more than doubled and went from $670 million to almost $1.5 billion.
Wow.
But that was because of the businesses and the arts districts and things like that. As an example, the Winfields, which is no longer open right now, but when they were rocking and rolling, they bought the Woolworth building and put a couple $1 million of their own money into it, and it was a fabulous restaurant. And then the guy that was, then we the city bought 3 Frank Spence and Boy Shops buildings that were next to each other. We took and made that the Riverfront Renaissance Center for the Arts, so that's where that is.
Gallery.
Oh, it's fabulous. So anyway, here's a neat story. Mike Aliano was the developer for that project. And he said, Jim, you think this arts district thing's going to work? I said, yeah, I do, Mike. So he said, okay. So he bought the building next door where Andreas and whatever the other thing is, and he put $1 million or $2 million into that. So my point was, we invested some city money, but we also got public money. And then Mary Ann and Jean also, uniqueness of what they did, great ideas. Yeah, they're both great people, and she's a great artist. So, I mean, there's so many good things that happen. But as you said, the recession came in around the end of 8 into 9, and it gets tough because people don't have that extra couple $100 to go buy that painting that they've always wanted. So that's why things change. I mean, when you look back, when we were growing up here, downtown was bustling. But then the malls came, and then they stopped bustling. Now you got Amazon coming. The malls aren't bustling anymore.
And now people want to shop in downtown again. I think a lot of younger people look for the crafted items. They want to buy something from the person who made it.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. I think things are finally heading in the right direction, both in a larger picture and for the Millville downtown. I mean, there's been a lot of ups and downs, but I'm seeing more investment, more development in the downtown. I mean, the Levoy's rocking, and
super,
the Renaissance Center is going strong. Bogart's is right across the street from there. Great cup of coffee.
Richie's a great guy.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the Levoy, too, I was just reminded the 10th anniversary of the Levoy is the 24th of September, and I was told I certainly want to be there to come formal. So luckily, I have a couple tuxes because I do weddings. So I asked them, "What do you want?" What? In fact, I just did a wedding recently where I had to wear my tux, and it was Thomas Lamanna. Do you know Thomas Lamanna?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, I got to bring him in. In fact, gosh, he would be a great role model for you because he looks so good. Well, he's a boxer. He's a professional boxer, and this was interesting. I'd seen him, he was on my show 3 months before the fight, and he fights at a welterweight, which I think 148, 150, something like that. And he's tall, he's like 6'2". So I said to him, "Thomas, how much you weigh now?" He said, what was it, 225. He had to lose 75 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And he had the boxing match, he won. But anyway, he got married about a month before his match, so I did the wedding, and it was just. But he looks great, And I'll tell you what, I have to talk to him about vegan food. I don't know. Seems to eat healthy, that's for sure. I guess you need to when you're doing. And I imagine that goes along with a lot of athletes, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, we see a lot of people from the different sports teams. The kids in high school and people that are a little bit older. If they go to the gym, they probably come to us too.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned the boxing. One of our long-term regulars, Hamid Hassan, he's a boxing instructor.
Oh, that's
and he was recently in a Holly Berry movie called Bruised on Netflix.
I'll be darned.
Non-speaking role, but
I have a friend that does a lot of non-speaking roles in movies too. So, that's neat.
Yeah, different. You meet so many cool people through doing this.
Yeah. It's got to be fun for you, right?
It is. It's really fulfilling. I love being there and getting to interact with the customers and make some food, and it's really a little bit of everything to have a small business. Like lead janitor and produce buyer, all of it.
But that's good because sometimes when I stop in, you're out getting fresh produce. And I'll tell you, your staff are super people. They do a great job, very attentive, and make some fabulous food. And honest, folks, I'm telling you, I have never ever had a bad meal at Wildflowers. In fact, each time I kept thinking, how much better can this get? And then it's neat because I wasn't sure what one thing was that Bruce had that time we were having lunch. I go, "Oh my God, Bruce, that's so good." He said, "It was mushroom, some interesting name of a mushroom too."
Chicken of the woods or oyster mushroom, elm oyster, chestnut oyster. We got a variety.
Probably the elm oyster, or one of those, but it was so good. So I guess that and quinoa, are they the things that substitute a lot for the protein?
Yeah, quinoa is a high protein food. It's a seed, not a grain, so it's actually easier to digest. It's the highest concentration of protein in a seed anywhere in the world. It's grown in the Andes of Peru, so it's not local. I can't get Jersey quinoa, but a little bit goes a long way.
It's super. Well, I think back to like Mark Cuban. Here's a billionaire, guys, and he is vegan. I'm almost positive because he talks about it on the show. So you feel so good. It's like I said to you, I feel great, but I don't eat red meat. I don't have steak. I don't have beef. I just don't do it. I don't enjoy it anymore. And I think what happens is we grow up. My parents were from the Depression era, World War II, and each night I knew it was roast beef, and the next night was ham, and it's like you almost had your food every night. You knew what you were going to have. But this is just great, wholesome and delicious, and doesn't get any better than Wildflower's food. And the neat thing too, you've got the little area inside, you've got the area outside. It's unique. It's such a neat place. Now there are other Wildflowers. Are they affiliated or just use the name?
No, there's a place in Lawrenceville outside Princeton that's a Wildflower, Flour. We're not affiliated with them, but they do have a lot of vegan options. Their thing is gluten-free. They're all gluten-free. Nice spot. Worth checking out if you head up that way. And there's other places called Wildflower in other states, but
I did
not
see
affiliated.
That popped up.
A lot of them seem to be vegetarian, though. So
that's neat. I wondered if that was part of the thing or not. How did you come up with the name?
I think my ex picked it out, but was possibly a name if I was going to have a daughter. That was a name I'd thrown out. Tom Petty song "Wildflowers" kind of sticks with me, and there's that refrain, "You belong" in there. So it's kind of like, well, I want to have a place where everyone's welcome, and it appeals to everyone. You don't have to be elitist or a certain ethnicity or preference or anything. It's just welcome. We have people of all different age ranges, and
that's the truth. You do. I really enjoy that. I mean, it's everybody and anybody, and everybody's really nice. I think maybe being vegetarian makes people, or vegan makes people happier, nicer. I
think it can. I think you're taking a violent exploitative element out of your diet. It's liberating. When I first went vegan, I felt really free, and for the first time in my life, I was like, you know what, I don't have to do this anymore. I hadn't really thought about it that much before. Thinking about it is the first step, and then knowing how to do it is helpful too. Because growing up vegetarian, I knew there were lots of things that I could eat without meat, so it was a lot easier for me than for a lot of other people, I think. But in recent times, the availability of vegan options has become so widespread. You can eat vegan at Wawa or any Chinese place. It's not hard to do, but to do it healthfully, I think, is harder these days because of all the processed vegan food. So some things like the vegan cheese you buy in a store is basically oil. Some of it's better than others. In a lot of ways, it's better than dairy cheese because it doesn't contain the cholesterol.
Right, that's a good point too.
But some of it's basically just oil, and some of it has some nutrition to it as well. But since we make our own cheese, I know there's nutrition in it.
That's true. Well, you just brought up a good point, though. When you think about it, a relative of mine recently just had a triple bypass. Now, I've been lucky because
because you eat right.
I think so. But ate too much. That's why I had to have the sleeve, so I'm not as obese as I used to be. But it is interesting when you see the cholesterol is a good point, and people, I've been lucky. I've never had a cholesterol problem. And again, maybe it is because I'm not eating some of the beef, the things with the fats and all that kind of stuff in it. So I guess that helps. And I know some cholesterol is hereditary. Like my cousins, they look as good as you, but boy, they have high cholesterol problems. They really do. They both fight heart blockage and all that kind of stuff. But this was funny. I had your poster boy, Rick Cott.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, if you know Rick Cott, he's Millville police officer, a sergeant, I think. He also is down the school board, and just a great guy. I had him on as my guest out to the motorsports park.
That's right, he did mention that.
So anyway, Antonio, the chef, is super. So I said, Antonio, I went in the kitchen. I said, look, my guest is vegan. He said, okay. And Rick told me he made up a fabulous vegan meal for him. He was thrilled with it and all that kind of stuff. And I think, as you say, I was going to ask you, I would like to be more vegan. And like I said, I do the veggie burgers, things that I know I can do without that. I don't know if I could give up fish, to be honest with you, but other than that, I'd probably give up everything else. But like if I go, let's say I'm going to the Queen Diner, what could I order there that would be healthy?
I'm not super familiar with the Queen's menu. Well, I know there's another diner ways away. My girlfriend went there and she asked, what's the vegetable of the day? And they said mac and cheese. And she said, what's the vegetable of the day?
Oh my God.
But that wasn't the Queen. That was somewhere else.
I got to tell you the story. That's one of my pet peeves. I go in to a restaurant, what's vegetable day? Well, macaroni and cheese, coleslaw, pickled beets, and corn or something. None of them are vegetables, folks. None, not one. But to the Queen restaurant, especially, their credit, 3 delicious green vegetables. Broccoli, cauliflower sometimes, that's green, but it's a healthy vegetable. String beans, they have, and I really like, what are the green things that are round? I'm trying to...
Brussels sprouts?
That's it. Thank you. Yes. And they always have three legitimate vegetables. The Millville one, maybe 2, but the Vineland one, 3. And even Marsford Diner, I go there, they never have more than 1 or 2, but they're good. But, like you say, mac and cheese, corn, pickled beets, coleslaw, that's not a vegetable, folks. Hello, we need something green, So I'm happy for those who do that, and that's a good point. So I guess if you go to a restaurant, where you're
Well, a lot of other places, I mean, you could just ask for that custom plate, you know, a grilled or roasted or steamed vegetable medley, you know, maybe have them add some beans or quinoa or chickpeas to bulk it up, make it a little more filling. Brown rice is fantastic. The extra fiber will help fill you up. And, you know, there's always something you can find. Lots of tofu at the Chinese places. So.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, well, just wondering what to do, but now we're learning anyway.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'll have to have Antonio on sometime, the guy at the motorsports park, because he's been moving and doing some really good things there as well.
And some of the other vegan-friendly places in the area. There's Nature's Cafe and Juice Bar in Vineland. You know, they have fresh pressed juices that are really healthy. The owner Aaron's a friend of mine, good guy. You know, they have some vegan wraps and things.
That's super.
There's Vegans R Us in Vineland.
Yes, I've had some of their stuff. You know? That's very good too. Yeah.
They've been there a few years now. They do good stuff.
Yeah.
There used to be a vegan spot in Bridgeton, but they closed down.
Oh yeah, I know. It was
they had the lunch truck.
Yes. I remember going there as well.
Yeah, there's other places around here. Andreas was great. He would make you a risotto, a mushroom risotto, if you wanted a vegan option. El Guac, I mean, salsa, chips.
Yeah, that's true.
Guacamole, can't go wrong there.
Yeah, no, I love guacamole.
You know? And Brody's had a white bean burger some years ago. He made his own white bean burger, and it was great. He stopped doing it because he said it took too long to make. But that's it. The veggie prep can take time. You got to wash things.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
Dry them and prep them.
He's flipping the burgers and doing all the things. And I love him, and I love his burgers. And one of my sins, I guess, every so often I have to go to confession.
We all have our bad habits are easier to form than break, right?
That's for sure. Eric Nyman is my guest, the owner of Wildflower, one of the best restaurants in Millville, one of the healthiest restaurants in South Jersey, folks. So if you're on a health kick, you'll look good, you'll feel. Look how good he looks. And if you've seen Rick Cott, my God, he looks like he is in phenomenal shape. He really does. And as I think of my friends that are vegan, they do look really, really good, and they feel good. And that's the other thing. They'll get sluggish and all that stuff. We'll be back to talk more with Eric right after these messages.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
In South Jersey, we do things our own way. We say things out loud, face things head on, and never back down. And that's how we fight cancer. With the most advanced diagnostics, leading-edge technology, and a team of doctors who know how to treat your cancer. And most importantly, we do it right here at the Frank and Edith Scarpa Cancer Center, Vineland, and the Leading Edge Cancer Center, Mullica Hill.
Well, Wildflower Vegan Cafe is one of the longest-running all-vegan eateries in the state, and the only one in South Jersey to feature so much local and organic produce, where everything is made in-house from scratch. We have a small seasonal menu that changes frequently. We can always find healthy, hearty salads, wraps, soup, and baked goods, all made in-house.
Are you ready to go green and cut down on your electric bill? Then there is only one call you need to make. Soaring Solar is your complete source for solar, including new roof installations. Soaring Solar is a veteran-owned and family-run company. Call the Soaring Solar family today and talk with one of our solar consultants. For a free estimate, call Soaring Solar today at 609-270-7759. Or find them on the web at www.soaringsolar.com.
Welcome back to Around South Jersey, and here we've been on for about 45 minutes, and we wanted to hold the big news, the really big breaking news that made the top headlines till now. Eric, tell them where else you're going to be.
So, from when we opened, people have asked, when are you going to open something in, Glassboro or Collingswood or all these faraway places?
True. Yeah.
So, we've procured a second location. Yes, I should have answered this before when you asked me about other wildflowers, but it's about 4 blocks from our current location, the old Oliver Twist building on Sassafras Street.
Beautiful building.
Pristine,
Yeah.
beautiful. The tables were locally milled from, I believe, old pickle barrels.
Yeah.
Todd Oliver set that building up so beautifully. And I'm sorry, your friend was the other
Jim
gentleman?
Andrews was the fellow who did some of the tables and the things like that.
Yeah, his woodwork.
craftsman.
The legacy lives on through that woodwork.
What
It's
a beautiful building, isn't it? Oh
and
my
the
God.
kitchen is
Yeah.
much bigger than what we have.
Yeah,
and the
that's
seating
true.
is much bigger than what we
Yeah.
have. So I'm not trying to relocate the business.
No.
I'm trying to keep the village on high spot as fast, casual. Come in, have
Sure.
a nice lunch meal, and with the new locations.
Now I know where to go for dinner.
Well, it's going to be a while before I can get it up and running because the building needs a lot of work. The
vacant for a long
HVAC all needs to be replaced and the
right.
compressors for things. So it's probably going to be 2023. But
okay.
as soon as we can.
Sure.
And that'll
that's
be
fabulous.
I want to grow that into the full service. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, sit down restaurant. And we'll be making healthy food for the kids too, for the community center.
Right.
But I'm really looking forward to giving Millville a really
that's
nice
fabulous.
full service sit-down restaurant.
Ironically, as we talk about that, it's Jim Andrews was one of my best friends, and he had a sawmill, and he would craft things and all that. And then George, I think George's last name might have been Rodriguez. George was the one that owned it before it went out of business, and his son-in-law is a doctor that I think still owns it, or it's been sitting vacant for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, George just passed away.
Oh.
So I'm really sorry about both of those. But, you bring that building, or at least the restaurant, back to life will be fantastic. And it is really nice inside. It's beautiful place inside.
Oh, inspirational views of the Maurice River Park from upstairs.
That's true.
It's just, people don't see these parts of Millville. And
that's true.
It's something I'm really looking forward to getting people in there again, because that building's been sitting vacant way too long. We had a lot of grease and stuff to clean up, but we've been chipping away at it. Got to get the all the machinery running and up to code.
Right, yeah.
So it's a major investment. It's going to take a while, but a few more months, maybe 6 months.
That'll
tops,
be worth waiting for.
Yeah.
And I don't do breakfast, so don't worry about breakfast.
I don't like to wake up early anyway.
I don't either. It's funny. I am a night owl, but for 30 years, 25 years, I did this auction time show, and here on Channel 2, or 2 and 4 at the time. Now it's 22, but so I would go on the air at 6 at night, and I wouldn't get done till 11. Well, you get done at 11 o'clock at night, you don't go to bed at 11:30. You go, like in my case, I'd stop at the Peter Pan Diner. They were open till 1. I get something to eat, go home, watch TV on 1, just like the person gets done at 5 or 6. They don't go to bed at 7. They'll stay up till 10. So my point is, I'm a night owl. I've been that way. Even these shows, when I do them, it's early evening. I could do it later, I guess, if I wanted to. And that's sort of the way I am, and I enjoy that. And, I watch Mark Cuban all night long on Shark Tank, so have a good time doing that. But, so anyway, I'll see you for lunch and dinner. And that's a great thing. First of all, I didn't know you were open as late as you are on Friday and Saturday night.
8 o'clock.
But that actually, will you be open till 8 at this place too, you think?
We're going to ease into it because to go from having a few people to a larger staff, it's going to be a while. But I'd like to be open for dinner. What we're initially probably going to do is be open by reservation for special dinners. The American Vegan Society, based in Malaga, they've been doing vegan advocacy for 60-something years.
No
62,
kidding.
I think.
Jeez.
Not very far away. They were collaborating with the culinary school at the college, and I think Egg Harbor Township, Atlantic Cape Community College.
Oh, sure,
And
they had the culinary program,
The students would put on this beautiful, 7-course meal, and they would all bring it out. So I was thinking maybe to raise some funds to develop the place, we could do things like that once or twice a month and have a really special experience that you have to register ahead for.
Yeah, sure.
And and then it can hopefully grow into regular hours.
Well, and I'd say one of the dreams I would hope for you would be that, like on Friday nights, it was hard to get into Oliver Twist.
I remember those days. Yeah,
they were rocking and rolling and doing what they're doing. But you got to do it. Well, I don't know. Third Friday. I don't know. But
maybe
sometime,
an open house or something.
That would be nice to have too as well. But
that's right behind Winfield. So
that's great. Yep. And I mean, the good thing too is it's hard to find healthy places to go eat. I mean, things you can get, but like when you looked at me and I said, "I go to the Quinn restaurant." It's like, I don't know, Jim. What do you order? To do that. And but again, there I'm usually eating their fish. I love the Queen's broiled flounder with stuffing in it, or crab meat in it, and stuff like that. And they usually have at least 2 real vegetables, not just.
Not just mac and cheese.
Yeah, I know. My cousin has a fantastic restaurant in Rio Grande. Phenomenal. Men's, M-E-N-Z. And he only has 1 green vegetable. I said, Jay, what is... He said, Jim, it takes up too much space for all this other stuff in these sticks.
Yeah.
And even Bobby Middleton told me that was one of their problems, too. I mean, so if they have 1 green vegetable, I'm happy. But 2 really makes me happy. And 3, I'm delighted. So, it's a places to go. And you've got everything is vegan and veg. So, we did talk about the vegetarian and vegan situation.
Yeah, vegetarians just not as strict, might eat some, eggs or dairy or something.
Yeah, it's funny. I do not drink regular milk. I drink almond milk. I don't eat eggs. Well, I don't eat breakfast anymore. So, I guess what I should do is look into what you would suggest. My day, I haven't eaten anything today except protein bars.
Okay.
Now, I don't know, is there something you would recommend?
Well, we make a peanut butter power bar that's made with organic peanut butter, peanuts, sunflower seeds,
well, then I'll
sesame
stop in
seeds.
and buy some.
Yeah.
That's good. No, serious. Because again, I've had that sleeve surgery. I don't have that large.
These are nutrient dense. They're small, so
and that's what I want to make sure I get the protein I need. And most of the ones I use Zone bars, and I guess they're about 14 grams of protein.
I think there's a Vega bar, a vegan bar. You can get it at Har's up in Vine.
I got to go there anyway.
Nutrition.
Okay, all right. Well, then I'll grab some of those and try that as well. Jeez, I'm learning a lot, man. That's great. That's super.
We'll have to talk more about it.
Yeah, that would be great. You got to come back again and again so we can keep this up.
It's such a far commute.
It is. Yeah, he's got a half a block. It's worked out really well, and I'm so proud of you and what you've been able to do. Wow,
thanks,
take
John.
a dream.
Thank you for helping keep us in business all these years with your kind words and having me on the show before. And you've been such an advocate for this community and this area, both politically trying to help elevate it, and in terms of just support of all the local businesses in the area. I do appreciate
and
it.
you and everybody up there, Mary Ann, both Mary Ann's been fabulous people that have kept the thing going. And it's just such a neat place. And I've
got to check out her new shop. She downsized to moving La Bottega from across the street. Right. She sold that now. It's a DC Studio, which is really cool. Young art teacher owns it now.
Yes,
and she has these big, really cool prints. And I'm not using the right artistic term, but Mary Ann's shop is in the village now. It's La Bottega's Bottled Memories, and she's got it set up really nice. The cottage doesn't look that big from the outside, but you go in and she's got a lot of really nice stuff. The etchings and the watercolors and the oils of different artists still.
Yeah,
so
I really appreciate Jean and Mary Ann because it was their idea. What a neat idea, and thank God for that, because that's one of the things I look forward to on Third Friday. You go up there, as you said, there's music and people you see and talk to and grab some delicious food at your place. And I am really looking forward to the evening opportunities, like you said. Once you get that going, you will definitely see me, because I eat out all the time, so you'll see me lots. Not any lunch, but because actually I usually just try to do dinner. I'll go out to Verna's like at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then the other nice thing is, because I can only eat so much, I end up with the other half. I can go. Here's the deal: one of my best advertisers is Queen Restaurant in Vineland. They have a special, folks, 2 for $25. So think about this. You go in, and it's 2 of you for $25. So I usually get turkey. I do eat turkey occasionally, and stuffing, and and their green vegetable and that type of stuff. Salad or soup, and a dessert. All that, when you have a person, your friend, with you, it's $12.50. That meal I just mentioned: salad, turkey, stuffing, green vegetable, and a dessert, is $12.50. And they provide takeout if you don't want to have to eat there, but you got to get two for the $25. But I've taken many friends there. The food is excellent. In fact, I do a live show there once a month with Mayor Finucci from Vineland, and that's one of the Wednesdays during the month. So, and the investment, and again, to you as well, thank you for your time, your energy, your money, your investment. And let me tell you something, folks. This young kid didn't know it, but I owned Bim's Pizzeria 50 years ago. And I said, I didn't really do as much. Joey Pierce, the owner, was like, he handled everything. I was more the financial investment with it. But it's not an easy business. You're out all the time.
Something's always breaking, or
true.
something's not coming in. We had a truck bringing wraps that didn't come in last week. I had to drive to Philly to get an ingredient. Like the produce I can get locally. That's no problem.
Right, yeah.
But all the other, specialty bulk ingredients, it can be rough. But, we've got a good thing going and ready to expand and grow. And
that's exciting.
We made it through the Great Plague, and everyone's ready to get back to getting out and having fun and living life again, I think.
Well, I love that sign, and it was right. If everybody was vegan, there'd be no COVID.
Very true. Yeah. I got to give your daughter a shout out. Jim's daughter Kelly's a massage therapist, and working in a kitchen can kind of mess up your shoulders and back, and things. You're always hunched over washing dishes or prepping things, and she brought me back to life a few days ago. I tell you,
that's where
they call it the grind for a reason.
I saw Serge Bruner. He goes to my daughter also, and he came out and he was smiling. He said, "Jim, I feel so good." I said, "Oh," he said, "Yes, Kelly, you gave me a great massage." Well, that's nice. Thanks for the testimonial for hers as well, and thank you for sponsorship. Thank you for being here in Millville, and we'll certainly have you back again. I can't wait till you get the new place going as well.
Yeah.
But folks, I'm telling you, you got to try it. You got to try it. You will love any food you get at the Wildflowers. I have never had anything I haven't said, wow, this is amazing. And it's healthy. Isn't it wonderful? You can eat delicious things that are healthy. That's a good thing. It keeps you living longer and feeling better, the quality of life you have. And boy, when I think about, the ones that I know, that I've mentioned here, like Rick and yourself, and you all look so good and so young and so healthy, and you are what you eat. That's the saying they said. You are what you eat. And it's good that you guys are eating properly, and they're going to Wildflowers. They're getting some great food, and we shall stop in. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Eric has been our guest, Eric Nyman, who has Wildflowers in the 500 block, right at Village on High, and within another 6 months or so, they be in the former Oliver Twist building, which will be wonderful for downtown Millville as well. And when I have the mayor on, sometime I have to ask her. She must be a great eater. She looks great. It's in wonderful shape. I'm proud
Marianne's
of her.
in all the time. Yeah. Jane and Marianne. They're great landlords and great friends.
I met Lisa, the mayor.
Oh, Orndorff. Yeah. I don't know if I've seen her in the show.
I have to talk. We have a show coming up. But she looks great. She runs, and I'm so proud of her for staying in great shape and that type of thing. So I have to.
It's a high-stress field.
Yes, it is. Yes, indeed. It's not an easy job. God bless her. It's you never seem to please all the people all the time, or half the people half the time. It's a tough one, but she's a good lady, and she's trying and really doing a good job. In fact, her show will be coming up the 15th of this month out to the New Jersey Motorsports Park, and I'm turning it over to her, and she's going to have Gary Galloway, I think, was one of her first guests, and then she'll bring in whoever she wants, because she's really good. She's a good speaker, doesn't need anybody to pour along. She does it all herself, and I'm very proud of her too. Eric, thanks again once for coming in. George Kachia, thank you for producing the show today, and we will see you soon, folks. Have a great night. Take care. Bye-bye.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.